Hi everybody, I'm Eric Waldo, Executive Director of Michelle Obama's Reach Higher initiative. I'm so excited to introduce our next episode on our virtual Beating the Odds series. Today, we'll be talking about undocumented students and their journey to and through higher education. On our panel, we'll have John King, the CEO of Education Trust and former Secretary of U.S. Department of Education. We'll have Sadhana Singh from the Dream.us, who also has an incredible dreamer story of her own. And we'll also have a student, Santiago Tobar Potes from Columbia University, who's a dreamer and an advocate for dreamers. I think you're really going to enjoy today's episode. Thank you. What's some advice that you have for incoming students who might be shy or nervous about talking to adults and college professors in the higher ed system?
Clubs help you get out of your shyness as well, and it helps you to have that socialization aspect of being around people and being more comfortable, whether it's like talking about yourself, telling your own story, or hearing other people's stories and learning from them. Like that really helped me as a student as well, because I came, like as I said, I came from Georgia to college where I never talked about my status at all. It was just a secret. And then I created a Dreamers Club at my college actually when I came. And through that, I met other dreamers for the first time, and that helped me with opening up a lot. So I would say if your campus has an organization for dreamers or for undocumented students, seek out that organization, seek out those leaders of the organization, and get to know them and join. And again, it might be all virtual, but just show up, be there, listen, sort of get yourself out of that space of shyness that way through clubs and organizations.
Did being a DACA recipient prevent you from doing anything in your college experience that you would have wanted to do otherwise?
Yes. So this one was kind of broke my heart, but yeah, I really wanted to study abroad, and once DACA ended, in September 2017, before now, you couldn't use the Advanced Pro program to study abroad, and it just broke my heart because I just wanted to study abroad in China.
I will say that. So I went to college in Washington, D.C., and my major was communication and with a minor in international affairs. And my dream was to be a journalist that would, maybe travel the world and do some reporting that way and things like that. And I also saw the State Department as a possible career as well. And when the State Department actually came to my campus, to recruit and to get to know students and things like that, I had a crushing moment when I realized that they only take US citizens. And so it's sort of just knowing your career aspirations and what you want to do, and just sort of realizing earlier on, doing some research earlier on whether that some of these jobs may require permanent residence or citizenship, and just sort of tempering your expectations that way. I really enjoyed my international affairs courses and I learned so much. They were some of my favorites, but just knowing that I was out of that, sort of category of jobs to work for the government or anything like that was kind of crushing for me.
My question was, how were you able to kind of open up, and share your status in a way that, people could understand and still be able to find resources to help you? Because I know there are a lot of students, and like Sadhana, status it's a really important thing, but being in an environment where not everyone is like you, it's kind of hard to share that information. And as Sadhana said, like she pretended like she was just everybody else, when inside, there's this big secret that nobody really knows. So, how were you able to kind of overcome that and find either a safe place or an advisor or somebody you could kind of confide in and share that status?
It's very special, I think, being a college student on a college campus and being undocumented or DACA. You're extremely special, and what you can contribute to the campus is important, and it's very valued. This diversity of experience that you can offer is so important. I think that's what made me feel like, it's like, this is not something that I should be scared of, or ashamed of. It's something like I can offer, my fellow classmates or even people that I talk to another perspective that's very rare. So I think it's just that change of mentality that made me realize, hey, like, yeah, I'm not, it's not something to be uncomfortable with. Of course, I'm not telling everybody, hey, what's up? My name's Santiago. I'm undocumented. What about you? No, it's just like, when you're asking for help, you say, this is a fact about me. It's as though you're in the doctor's office saying like, hey, I get headaches all the time. It's a detail that you add so they can find some way to help you. So I think that change in mentality was what really helped.
for the Dream.us, we do advise our staff at the colleges to show that they're an ally. So this is another way that's really helpful for students like yourself to sort of know that this is a safe person to talk to and a safe space to open about your status. So look for those things. Maybe look, in the counsel for the counselors or the advisors that you work with, to see if they have, little things about immigrants or undocumented, organizations or things like that around their office, or maybe what they talk about themselves. You sort of get a feel for a person, and then you can decide if it's safe enough to share your status with them. And again, joining the campus, the club about for Dreamers or undocumented students helps as well, because it'll give you more connections to people who are safe on campus to divulge that information to.
In this moment, I think it's of uncertainty. Would you all recommend starting at a community college?
I don't think there's one absolute answer to that. It really depends on your circumstances. I certainly understand if your campus is going all online, why community college also online could be appealing, could be more affordable potentially. But you really have to weigh, is the four-year institution where you were admitted to the place you really want to go, and you want to take advantage of that opportunity and lock in that opportunity now? And you got to weigh that. You also have to weigh, are the courses the ones that you want to take? I worry sometimes students who start at community college, if they aren't clear about the transferability of credits, can end up actually spending more for college because they end up paying for courses that don't transfer. When they do transfer, they got to take those courses or similar courses again. And so their total number of credits to degree is much larger than it needs to be. So you want to be very careful about that. But if you have a community college where there's a clear transfer agreement with the four-year that you want to go to, and you have an opportunity to add some courses at a more affordable rate, that might be something worth exploring.
So I graduated back in 2013, and I'm just now having an opportunity to go back to school. So it's been like 7 years. So right now I'm kind of nervous because I feel like the age group is like so large now. I'll be in class with people just coming out of high school, they're they already they're used to the math, science and everything. Right now I'm just like really nervous. I was just wondering, do you guys have any advice or tips for me that I could use? Because it's like I'm out of commission with school for so long that I just don't know if I could be able to keep up with everybody else that's in my class currently.
Yeah, I had experience with this. I came to college and they put me in a calculus class, and it was like a foreign language, and I had no idea what was going on. And this is one of the where I said before, sort of be gentle with yourself. So I actually went to my advisor and I said the truth, and I said, okay, I'm completely overwhelmed in this class. I feel like I don't have the immediate background as maybe my peers do coming from high school or something like that. So I just bumped myself down to a lower level of math. So it's like kind of knowing yourself like that, and knowing what you struggle with and what you may have a hard time with, and seeing if you can just do something else. It's not going to be a failure on your part or, again, make you less than. It's just sort of knowing your limits. And I was so much happier in that lower math class, let's say, because I then was more comfortable and felt like it was more my speed. So just sort of not being afraid to change things up in your schedule or with your academics, and again, be open with your advisor about what you can handle and what you can't.
My university, there's like another school for non-traditional students called School of General Studies at Columbia. And so some of my classmates in my classes would be like 55 years old or, 40, 30, whatever, and it's interesting because I made friends with one of them. I think he was like 42 or something like that. And he would tell me like, oh, like I'm a little, shy or whatever. And it's crazy because I tell him like all of us, like we like look up to you, or like you have certain life experiences that put you ahead, that give you advantages over us. There's a lot of that consideration too. So please don't feel shy for whatever reason. You have way more tools in your toolkit than you think.